Okay, so we've been looking at this up here for a while now. Alliance War coming soon. But we just got a post that looks pretty exciting about the Alliance War. And I really got to say, I do like these Q&A mailbags. And not only do I like these mailbags and what they're saying and the communication on it, but also looks like they've been active on Reddit and responding to some questions. Like there's a really critical question. Like a lot of people are worried about how much time this is going to take per day. And someone's saying it could take 45 minutes in the post that we're going to go over and read. But then on the post on Reddit, the developers actually said most players are probably looking around 20 minutes. I'm okay with 20 minutes. I was not going to be okay with, having to do like some crazy amount of an hour to 45 minutes to an hour for very active competitive players. I'm cool with 20 minutes. And this post does go over a lot of these things. And we're going to go over that together. But I want to say I'm a little bit cynical when it comes to Alliance and Alliance Wars. And that has to do with something I read 4 years ago when I was playing a game called Marvel Contest to Champion, and that was made by a game called Kabam. And Fox Next acquired large chunks of what was left over of Kabam after the Netmarble merger. And I just want to go into what is the purpose and the function of alliances. And this has led me to a very cynical approach in games like this when it comes to alliances. It talks about equally important. Now they're talking about game mechanics and they're talking about monetization. Equally important to the system that design is the inclusion of social mechanics and social play. And then this is very important right here. What I mean is think about guilds, think about alliances, think about game environments that create competition and motivate people to want to spend so that they can be better than someone else. Think about group dynamics. If you're in an alliance, your alliance is going to want to get you to play or they'll kick you out. You're encouraged to play and engage and potentially spend depending on who you are and what you are doing. And so I have like a small issue with alliances in general, going back 4 years with Kabam, the predecessor, or a lot of the people that work at Foxnet used to work for Kabam. But the design and the intention of putting alliances in the game is that a lot of times is to get people to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with your guildmates, become friends with these people, and then be guilted into spending money. That's the way it was in Marvel Contest of Champions. I hope it is not that way in Marvel Strike Force. I really do. All right. Q&A mailbag, Alliance War Edition. Hello, Commander. We wrapped up the first round of external playtests, like upcoming Alliance War game mode, and we're happy to announce that it went well. 200 players took part and provided a ton of great feedback. We're implementing the player suggestions in the next build of Alliance War, which will be used in the next set of external playtests. Big thank you to the alliances that participated, and I got to give a shout out to Hydra. I wasn't in the beta, but a lot of the people in the alliance that I'm in were. Hydra was a part of that, so that's very good. This week, we're going to deep dive in Alliance War gameplay details and answering questions posed by the players that took part in the playtest. All right, 12-hour timer, and thank you so much for getting rid of this. I know that you posted this earlier. They're going to switch it to a 24-hour timer. I just can't imagine having a global game with global guilds without doing something in 12 hours versus 24 hours. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for switching it to 24 hours. Go wide or well-rounded rosters. Now, get on to the gameplay. Alliance War is not like other game modes where you only send one of your top squads into battle. Every hero counts. And I've been saying this for a while. I know Casino is big on saying this. Go wide, go deep, rather than focused and narrow. I mean, I think if you want to place very high in the arena, you have to kind of go narrow and focus on a couple characters. But in Blitz and this upcoming Alliance War, it seems better to go wide and have many teams. But there's no need to worry if your roster isn't robust as others. You don't need to attack or defend with full teams. So anyone, regardless of how many characters you've unlocked and leveled up, you could jump in and take an impact during a war. And on the Reddit post, they were largely suggesting that the battles are going to be 5 versus 5. Alliance planning. I'm glad that we have guild leaders that love doing this. Coordinate with your alliance will be the key to victory. As we mentioned, characters can only be used once. either on attack or on defense. And this is going to be all inside of the helicarrier. Alliances will need to evaluate the rosters to decide who will defend, who will attack, which character to use. In general, a player's total collection power is a good way to estimate how effective they'll be in a war. And so I do like the idea that certain people can go a lot deeper into this than others. I'm more likely to be the person that says, okay, tell me what to do. And then the guild leaders and things like that can coordinate the attack. Setting defenses. In Alliance War, the best offense is a good defense. There are 12 rooms to defend in your helicarrier. Your alliance will need to decide where to place rooms in your helicarrier and how many characters from your roster will defend a room. If you choose not to place characters in the helicopter room, a shield minion team will automatically guard it. Okay, shield minions are not the worst. You can place an entire team from your roster in the room, or place just a few characters to guard the room with a shield team. All right, I got to see how that works. When deciding your defense, remember that shield teams has a default power of 13,000. Wow, okay. All right, so 13,000 is not high. 170,000 is high. 200,000 is high, but not 13,000. Room bonuses. Other rooms have a positive and negative effects with stat boosts, as well as different point values in war. And that's a good thing to note because it's pretty easy to punch up in this game, meaning because the AI is not the smartest. Usually you can defeat somebody that has a much higher power index just by playing smart. And that's true in Blitz 100% of the time. That's what the whole Blitz game mode is designed around. So having boosts for defense will make a difference. And it'll also create some variety, and it'll change matchups. I like this idea. For example, eliminating the medbay wipes out a global health boost, while blowing up the bridge grants a team 250 points. I don't know what the points mean. Destroying these rooms can often be the key to victory. Heal mechanic. And my understanding is that this might change because I've heard some rumblings about this heal mechanic. This mechanic has gone through many iterations based on player feedback. Opinions around the original mechanic were split almost down the middle. Some liked it, some didn't. This is mainly due to the concern how heals were implemented, as it set a play style around having to wait around, constantly monitoring your team, and then jumping in fast enough to heal them so they could survive the attack. And I suspect, or spend money, would be the other alternative to that. We didn't like how this felt, but we did see a lot of opportunity for strategy based on alliances coordinating attacks to bring down the strong enemy targets. We've adjusted the mechanics so that you can boost a defense team before they get attacked. This should provide a better flow to defense and will keep the coordination and strategy aspects around. War Store. Ooh, more characters. I wonder who's going to be in the War Store. I wonder if Carnage is going to get launched this way. I'm pretty excited about Carnage. Carnage character looks very good. Just like Blitz, Arena, and Raids, War will also have a store with a dedicated currency. All right, you can purchase character shards, can only be found in the War Store. I wonder what that's going to be. Hopingly, it's Carnage, because Carnage seems very good. Now, here are some of the Q&A, and it says, how long will the Alliance War seasons last? And it looks like they're going to last 2 weeks, so that is like the raids. So switching guilds and things like that is every 2 weeks is the best way to do it. First, maybe a suggestion, really, can we get a clear defense buttons? This is for the guild leaders, and I'm going to pass over this. This is more of something for that the guild leadership would like. Are the strongest alliances getting the best reward? And it actually seems like the way that they answered this is it probably matters more on your individual performance. Regardless of your total collection or strongest team power, underdog alliances will have the same rewards for winning and losing as more powerful alliances do. I like that. There will be season rewards, but the bulk of the rewards will come from the individual war earnings that can be spent in the War Store. So it doesn't matter how big your guild is. If your guild wins, it's going to get the same rewards as a larger guild that wins. So if you both lose, they're going to have the lower rewards. Okay, so when is the full version? Soon, 2 a.m. And that is kind of an industry joke, I think, started by Blizzard, which I believe a lot of them also are very close to Blizzard. Blizzard's kind of in that same area of town. Soon TM is kind of like a joke, which means in the next 2 years or 3 years. No, I don't know. It's soon is, I think if they're doing beta testing, it really is soon. I would expect this to be out within a month or so. This is our biggest addition to the game since worldwide launch, and I've been working hard to make this mode as fun as possible. Playtests like the ones we've had in the past week are an important final step. And then this I thought was very interesting. It says, will defensive victories come into play when it comes to scoring? And they said no, because they want to encourage people to attack. So there's no penalty for attacking. Attack as much as you want. Attack as many times as you want. because there's not going to be any like successful defense. And that is different than the way other games have played that have this type of mechanic, because that is usually holding up on defense is what is a tiebreaker, because they talk about later ties basically means you lose. Okay. And then this is something very important. What level of time commitment do you expect from alliances competing seriously in this mode? And then it says right here, 45 minutes to 1 hour per day. Played a few times and settled into a groove. We're looking to war to event potentially runs 2 to 3 days a week. And then they clarified on Reddit that for some people it might only be 20 minutes. And I'm looking forward to that. How are heat cheaters be handled? What happens to decide a match when Foxneck team determines someone had cheated? Now, I don't see cheating happening in a guild versus guild setup unless an entire guild is cheating. Where individual players are likely to cheat, it's unlikely that an entire group of 24 people are going to cheat. I don't want to play with cheaters. I'll tell you this, anybody in my guild would get kicked and reported instantly if we even had the notion that someone in our guild. So I don't think cheating is going to be something that happens in this game mode unless there's a guild full of cheaters, and I just think that would be terrible. So they also talk about cheat setups. We've seen a massive improvement in prevention and detection that will continue to improve upon and carry over to Alliance War and so on. And there's also something called shard chats. And I noticed that on a lot of the Discord servers, people are looking for people that are in the same shards and doing shard chats. Shard chats are also very important for detecting and booting cheaters. I believe that is why it doesn't happen in other games. It's just because of the design of shard chats and guilds. Now, something like Dark Dimension, where it's one person versus the computer, is a type of mode where people will cheat at more commonly. So just putting that out there. So I don't think cheating is going to be an issue with this type of the game, and I think shard chats will also cut down on cheating. Regarding the time to set up defenses, will this be set up the same as the attack phase where there's a timer? And there will be a 5-minute timer on attack, just like in the guild raids. Defenses are meant to set up when the war is not running. So maybe we'll have like a day to set that up. There'll be a short matching phase where you'll be locked out right before the war starts. But otherwise, you can set your defense whenever there isn't an active war running. Okay. And most of it is about the same, and there's more stuff there. But overall, I'm pretty excited about a new game mode and new stuff to be done in the game, as long as it is not with this objective from the Kabam people in 2014, where it's just talking about, think about the game environments. They create competition and motivate people to want to spend money so they can be better than someone else. I don't know. I don't like that idea at all. All right, what are your thoughts about this? I'm going to be okay with this if this is only 20 minutes a day. I'm not looking forward to dumping in an extra 45 minutes. My goodness, that'd be too much. All right, guys, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.